Finally, the city of Yithrin, once ruled by an arch-lich, according to Professor Scant. There's a malignance about this place. Something that wants something from me. Took my eye, taught me something, and then took something else too. It's going to affect the minds of the others, more so than me. I'm the only one capable of resisting it. What with my patron's blessing, I can't trust Roman, nor can I trust Vellynne. No, we must go meet with Avarice and see how it unfolds. But I'm sure they're both plotting something against me. Maybe he's told her already. I see the surprise on Vellynne's face, but is it really real? Things are escalating. I must be on my guard. This is Red Moon role-playing.
You make your way through the ancient city, passing by the ruins that even now are still not familiar to you. Still, it seems your destination is not too far from where you were. This great tower is easy to spot. It's one of the tallest in the area, almost as tall as the Great High Court. As you approach, it seems to end at the top in some sort of glass sphere that even now still seems to be turning slightly. You imagine, all the way up there, you'd get a very good view of the city. Your attention is diverted elsewhere, though, to the front of the tower, near its entrance, where a small retinue awaits you. There seem to be at least 15, 16 people here. Most of them appear to be simple-looking travellers. They have leather armour, heavy travelling cloaks. They are armed with long swords and axes. As you approach, most of them seem humanoid. One or two, maybe, are dwarves, perhaps even a half-elf here. You immediately would think, Roman, they look like simply people from the 10 towns. Standing, surrounded by these individuals, near the entrance to this great tower, is an individual that you recognize immediately, Roshik, and you, Roman, would eventually remember. An albino tiefling, clad in a snowy white cloak, with a raven now perched on her shoulders, holding a large staff in her hands. What do you do as you approach this gathering? They are all waiting for you. They have seen you.
I am looking them over with one eye. I feel like I'm sweating profusely. I didn't expect so many people to be here. How stupid of me. Well, I decided to be on her side after all. I probably could have told Vellynne as much. I don't like keeping secrets. But here we are. I didn't trust her, and this is the decision that I made. I stand back as we reach them, expecting this to be resolved between Vellynne and Avarice.
Yes, and I look to Roshik and Vellynne and to this large group. And I nod to Vellynne to step forth.
Vellynne looks between the two of you, scowling. She mutters something under her breath as she steps forward. Avarice, then, smiling, steps forward herself just a little. Both of you can roll me a perception check at this point.
That is a natural 20 for me. 23.
19.
Both of you at this point notice that just above the entranceway to this great tower are two stone statues of beings with great leathery wings. They look a little out of place, if you're honest. You haven't really seen statues looking like that anywhere else here. Odd.
Do they look like recent additions? Does the style match with the rest of what we see here, or does it look more like something we would find, well, back in Icewind Dale?
Yes. It totally looks like a recent addition, and more akin to architecture you are used to.
Vellynne, the statues. I just whisper to her.
Vellynne just looks and then nods. Avarice steps forward. Ah, there we are. Hello, everyone. I hope we've been enjoying ourselves in the city. No? Roshik? How's it going? All good?
Couldn't be better, Avarice. Lovely to see you again.
Oh, please, the pleasure is all mine. Hello, Vellynne, how are you? How did you know? How did you find us? Vellynne immediately spits towards Avarice. Avarice simply shrugs. Oh, well, Roshik over there helped me, didn't you, Roshik?
That's right. She tracked us through me. I'm sorry, Vellynne. I did not trust you, and I decided to put my faith in her instead.
What? Vellynne just spins, looking at you with great anger in her expression. You fool! You didn't trust me, but you trusted this one! She's probably going to kill you all, you damnable fool!
I just wipe my brow and shrug.
And you, don't tell me you knew as well. I knew it. Everything you have said. Bloody priest of Lathander! Full of hypocrisy!
It was not my place to speak of this. But we don't have to resolve this violently. I mean, surely what we all want is what's good for the 10 towns, for the people there. We can surely find some way to get both of you what you're looking for.
I smirk at this.
Vellynne glares at the pair of you. Roman, roll me an insight check.
21.
Vellynne feels greatly betrayed. It's plain on her features. She seems almost more affected by you than Roshik, though. There's something in her eyes. What she just said, a hypocrite. In a way, this is very hypocritical, Roman. Lathander would never do such a thing.
No, he wouldn't, but Lathander is not here. Lathander does not have to make decisions under these kinds of circumstances. He does not have to choose between a friend and what is good for the mission. It's a tough situation to be in, I think to myself. Look, Vellynne, I'm sorry. I just couldn't. Roshik is a friend. He has saved my life many times. And as I said, I really hope we can solve this. It does not have to turn ugly.
Doesn't have to turn ugly, you bloody fools. No, I suppose it's my fault. I actually had begun to trust you both. Stupid old woman. You were mercenaries hired for coin. That's all you ever were. I see. Avarice sort of shrugs a little at this. Now, Vellynne, we're getting awfully worked up. What's the problem? Vellynne just sort of goes quiet. Before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, we should set a few ground rules, shouldn't we, I think? So first of all, Roshik, thank you very much. You will not have made a mistake. Trusting in me and my companions naturally is the correct choice. But yourself, Cleric of Lathander, forgive me, I'm a little anxious. I'm very glad you seem to be seeing things logically, but are you really? I'm not going to suddenly get a divine guiding bolt in the back any second now, am I?
No, if I were to kill you, I would kill you from the front. But that's not really what I'm here to do. I'm here to save the 10 towns, here to save East Haven. I, to be very honest, couldn't care less about your little rivalry. It is just an obstacle to us getting what we need to get from here. We need a Mythalar. That's the only reason that we are here. And with regards to everything else, that's up to you and Vellynne to solve amongst yourselves. I do hope that you can find some way of coexisting, but I suppose you will have to work that out yourselves.
Well, you two would certainly be helpful in the situation. First of all, if I was to say that I'd love Vellynne to be moving along, skedaddling if you will, would you two rise to her defense? Or would you help me make sure that she doesn't cause any problems? Again, as we're talking openly, I'm fully prepared, Roman, to offer you the same as I offer Roshik. You can have what you wish. I won't lie, the Mythalar is problematic, but again, I'm willing to negotiate. So what do you say to that? Vellynne is looking angry and horrified at the topic of this conversation, but what do you two do?
Negotiate? No. Not negotiate. We are here for the Mythalar. That is what we will have. There's no negotiation about that. If there is that, then there's no way that we can move forward with anything here. In that case, we will have to kill each other, which would be fun, no doubt, but it would mean that a lot of other people have to suffer as well, and that would be very unnecessary.
Oh dear, I did think you'd be boring. Roshik, can you take over, please? When I say negotiate, I mean negotiate. The Mythalar that you want might actually interfere with my plans. It might, for example, cause a great instability in the city, but I am willing to let that happen. Negotiation! My goodness, this priest is very boring.
Well, I wipe some more sweat off my forehead, I say. You did give us leave to take whatever we like as long as you got the spell book. That was the deal.
Yes, and now we're renegotiating. Part of renegotiation is conversation. So, back to step one. I'm asking, if I was to say that I wished Vellynne to be on her way, as that is what I really would like, would you two interfere? If you are going to interfere, I'm willing to negotiate. Do you see? Do you understand? I'm hoping you'll say, no, that's not a problem, and then brilliant, I will offer the Mythalar free of charge, but I have to haggle, don't I?
That's what I agreed on.
Wonderful. You're on board then. What about you, priest? I don't wish to kill Vellynne, but if she is going to interfere, it's going to be a problem. I'd rather she was gone. I already would be doing this, by the way, if you two weren't here. I'm only negotiating, dear Vellynne, because your two companions are quite proficient, and I'd rather have them on my team than yours.
I look to Vellynne. What do you think? Is there a way out of this?
Why are you bothering to talk to me? There is no way through this. You have betrayed me. Are you asking, do I mind you betraying me a little more, or a little less? If you truly wish to help me, you'd fire upon these fools right now. Although you notice, due to your insight check, that Vellynne is a little nervous. There are an awful lot of them, Roman. Firing on these people right now would be very detrimental, you think, to your goals. But then again, maybe not.
No, we made an agreement that we would work with you, Vellynne. And I have no intention of breaking that agreement, even though what Avarice here is offering seems to be an easier way forward. Roshik, I do hope that you will stand with me on this, but if not, I hope you will stand aside. I guess we will have to kill all these people, huh, Vellynne? I say, and I look to them, readying myself for combat.
Vellynne smiles a little at this, but then looks suspiciously at Roshik. Meanwhile, Avarice shrugs. Oh, dear me, again. I love how you priest it's all, if you're not with me, deaf. We're negotiating. Fine. You won't let her leave. How about then she simply is now under my command?
I look to Vellynne. Would that be acceptable to you?
No. Nothing is acceptable with this one. You see? Why are you with this old woman, priest? She wants no negotiation. I want negotiation. I want her to go, but if you're going to be troublesome about it, I'll settle for simply you keeping an eye on her and making sure she doesn't interfere in anything.
All right. We will follow then, Vellynne, and let us see what happens. I will keep an eye on my friend here.
Avarice looks quizzically then to you, Roshik. Oh dear, this is getting a little confusing. Are you going to be with... He seems to be the one calling the shots. I thought you were the one who had the business acumen.
I look at Roman as he talks, and he chooses his stance on the whole thing. And I smile at him, again wiping my brow. And I turn back to Avarice, and I shrug and I say, well, I suppose we made promises to both sides. Guess we'll see what happens.
Oh, how droll. Fine, whatever. Boring. Anyway, let's move on then. Second question. The rite of the Arcade Octat. How are we progressing on it, Vellynne? Vellynne snorts a little and says, I have no idea what you're talking about. We haven't found anything so far. Avarice looks to you then, Roshik. Is that true? You found nothing in the time you've been here?
Bits and pieces of information. It looks like we have to go over the city looking for brass plaques. I smile very helpfully.
Oh, how disappointing. I suppose then that's what you'll be doing. I'll send some men with you, and you'll continue to search for the way of getting past the door. I shall then make camp here, by the door. How disappointing. If you knew how to get in already, we could just get in already, and you, priest, would be closer to achieving your goal.
Unfortunately, there are still things left to be done.
In my mind, I'm thinking that I might do this and I might do that. I think if Roman wants to fight, I think we'll fight. But I don't think I'll fight him. No. We'll take these little small scraps down and it'll be a good time, just like he said.
Avarice leans back a little, but then she does look to you, Roman, one more time. You're positive you don't already know the way in. After all, don't you have a town to think about? Every second you spend here, they're in danger. You're telling me that you haven't found the way in yet, and are willing to spend longer getting in.
We of course need to save the town as soon as we can. Why are you even asking that?
Because I have a sneaky suspicion that you do know how to get in and you're stalling for time, which would be detrimental to me, yes, but also detrimental to you.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
No. So again, are you sure you don't know how to get in right now? Because I want to get in right now. I don't want to look for plaques in towers. I want to go in.
I don't know how to get in right now.
Can you roll me a deception check?
That is an 11.
She squints and snorts a little. I see how it is. All right, one final triad negotiation. Why are you so keen to stop me getting in? I have told you I want to help you get your goddamn Mythala. Is that not enough, priest? You really wish to risk the lives of those people you care about in East Haven, so that you can throw us off the track?
Out of curiosity, why did you help them back in East Haven? Why did you reveal the Dwerger's position?
It's what my benefactor wished.
Who is your benefactor? And why did they want that? Maybe if that's an easier question.
Oh, if I tell you, the priest is going to get all angry and mad and Lathander this, Lathander that. Are we sure we want that to happen?
I think we have to, now that you've mentioned it.
Oh, very well. My benefactor is Lephistius.
And what does that mean to me?
You could roll an Arcana check or a History check.
16.
Isn't that the name of an archdevil? You're not sure you know more than that.
And why would he, someone that has that reputation, want something like that?
How should I know? I don't really care. All I know is he didn't wish for what was going to happen to the 10 towns to happen to them. And it didn't. Well done. You stopped it happening. Good work.
Curious.
Roman, you also are aware of this being an archdevil's name, but this is very conflicting. Why would an archdevil save the 10 towns?
Yes, but Lathander is fairly clear on good and evil, and archdevils. Ooh, this just made it very, very easy for me.
You see Avarice look at you for a moment. Is it indeed going to be a problem? Let me guess. I don't care that Lephistius saved my town. I'm going to kill you all now because Lathander, yes?
And as she says that, I look to you as well, Roman, and a halberd is materializing in my hand. I lean on it.
So, looking at this now from a purely tactical perspective, what do I think, knowing, having been in a fair few battles myself, how would I judge this situation? Do we stand a chance? Is it just completely overwhelming odds, or do these guys look weak enough that we could take them, these townsfolk that she's rolling with?
Well, on one hand, they are just townsfolk, but on the other hand, they are seasoned 10-towners. To have made it out this far means they are not completely incompetent. You also notice that they're all starting to gather around Avarice, reaching for their weapons. There is something going on here. They're more than just townsfolk. You notice they all seem to have medallions of a sort of little black sword on their necks. You haven't seen that before. There is also the problem of Avarice. She is an unknown spellcaster. Spellcasters are powerful. Not to mention where you are. It is possible you will be able to fight these foes. Yes, you might even win. But you aren't sure if you'll be unscathed. And you're still unsure of what actually awaits you. After all this humming and hawing is about getting into the central tower. The central tower which you do know how to get into. You could get in right now with that ritual. And that's where the Mythalar is, you think, and that's where your goal is. You were reminded at this point that your goal isn't killing these people, it's saving the 10 towns. So it's up to you, Roman. Either you fight, or you don't, but you think there'll be consequences either way. If you wish, you could also roll a religion check.
Yes, I will do that.
Do so.
A 7.
You seem to recall there was something about Lephistius. There was something different about him, wasn't there? But you can't remember what it was.
Alright. Why don't we go inside, all together? We'll find what all of us are looking for.
Wonderful, you did know it. See, Vellynne, was there a point in lying? Vellynne sort of just looks down at the ground and mutters, and is like, yes, I know, you wanted to lead some men away, attack them. Goodness me, Roshik, I love this. Here I am, offering nothing but help and support. I'm starting to wonder if I should have just killed you on the spot, but apparently I am the bad person for negotiating. It's funny, isn't it?
Not that funny.
I'm talking to Roshik, priest. You have no sense of humor. He does.
I have a sense of humor. Right, Roshik?
Well, if we're not going to fight, then sure. Let's get in there and you get your thing. We get the Mythalar and whatever I can find for myself.
Very well then, lead the way. Vellynne scowls, looking very conflicted. She looks at you, Roman, occasionally, maybe a little less hostile, but of course she looks at Roshik with nothing but hostility. As you begin moving towards the great entranceway into the great high tower, she kind of leans in, trying to whisper to you, Roman. What are you playing at? Are you actually on my side or not? I know that he isn't.
Yes, I am on your side.
What are we going to do about your goddamn friend? He's not on our side. He might not kill you, but he's definitely going to try and help her.
Let's see. I have faith in Roshik.
I don't.
Let's see how it goes. It's exciting, isn't it?
Exciting? You call this exciting? We need to try and find a way of fitting their numbers just a little. I don't think there's anything we can do now, though. I think we're going to have to try and do the ritual. But maybe volunteer to be the main person who does the ritual and I'll assist you. If we do that, we can both be close to the entranceway.
Alright.
Roshik, you notice Roman and Vellynne whispering. And you think everyone else knows it as well, but these townsfolk don't seem to care, and Avarice is just keeping her attention on the surroundings. How are you feeling about that? A little voice in the back of your head says something. You can't quite hear what it is. You feel very itchy and clammy.
Yeah. I feel like I don't really trust anyone here or their agendas. I feel like I'm being swept along on the waves of like some sort of driftwood. But on the other hand, I feel confident in my own powers and that someone else, when they make the decisions here, I'm going to put on a show. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to put on a show and to entertain. Yeah. I'm waiting for showtime.
Avarice leans over at this point, suddenly by your side. Rather bothersome, all this. Let me guess, no matter what, even if that friend of yours tries to murder you himself, you're going to stand by his side, right?
Well, I'm not in the mood to murder him. I mean, we could tussle a bit and mess each other up, but no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't murder my friend.
How dull. He's definitely going to try something with Vellynne, you know. Again, if you just did what I said, you'd get everything you want. I don't understand why that's an issue. For him I do, but why is it for you? You seemed pragmatic.
I feel conflicted about this as she mentions it. I made a deal because I decided to trust her instead. Now, I'm not so sure. I don't know much about this thing she's serving. Something that wants us, or what, to prevail. And the problem is, I feel for myself that if he really, I don't know what he would do. I feel like I don't really care who wins. I don't feel like I am the one that weighs in on either side. I don't even know what I want. In one way, I just want that spellbook for myself. But now there's so many other people here, and it's all just a mess, and it's hard to think clearly.
You seem troubled. Something wrong?
I just feel this situation got a lot more complicated with all your ragtag people around here.
Well, how else do you think I got here, Roshik? I didn't have you two. I needed people, and they have their uses. They are all dedicated to Levistius, after all. Cults are useful for that sort of thing.
I see. And they come from around here?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes, they currently have taken over the town of Caer Dinval.
What is the Levistius? Does he have a grudge with Aurel?
No, doesn't care at all about Aurel. He does have a grudge against Asmodeus, though.
Oh. Old things, I'm guessing.
Oh, I see you don't seem to know. Well, I'll explain, darling. Levistius is currently encased in a block of ice, as he has been for thousands and thousands of years, for trying to defy Asmodeus, the ruler of the Nine Hells, yes? Following?
Yeah, Yeah, that sounds pretty clear.
Yes, so naturally, he doesn't like Asmodeus.
And do you want the Mythalar for that very reason, for thawing his block of ice as well?
That wouldn't do anything to his block of ice, dear me. I don't care about the Mythalar. I only cared because I was worried that you lot tampering with the Mythalar might cause something catastrophic to happen. I was willing, though, to put it aside because it's not my goal. Do you understand?
I suppose so.
Good. I can't speak a word with the bloody priest. Everything with him is, oh, the light, oh no. It's always the same with that lot.
Yeah. So what you really want is to know, am I gonna help you get your spell book? That's all that you care about, isn't it?
Yes. Something else as well. but we'll see if we have time to deal with that. The cult aren't here for the spellbook, of course. They have their own desires, and I, being the chosen one of Levistius, am supposed to fulfill that, but that's negotiable.
Well, if it is within my power, then I'll make sure you get the spellbook.
Will you really? Vellynne will try and do something, and I have a feeling your priest is just looking for an excuse to strike me down, being the horrific tiefling that I am. Fool.
I don't think your race outweighs whom you're serving.
The person I serve, and I don't really serve them, I just do favors for them, I made a deal and all that, saved his goddamn town. But he'll never look past that. To him, doesn't matter who is who, only his doctrine.
I'm not so sure. I think if it didn't matter at all, he would have attacked just out there. I think he was on the edge of doing so.
I'm also getting a little annoyed at both of you thinking that me negotiating is a sign of weakness. It's not. It's a sign of being willing to find an easier path to what I want. I can kill you both. You maybe will be able to hurt me and these people, but it will not be a one-sided fight, I assure you. She sort of glares at you a little at this.
Oh no. I wouldn't dream of underestimating one of the Arcane Brotherhood.
She wrinkles her nose and then continues onwards. You all finally arrive once again at that gateway from before, surrounded by those 8 sigils. Darkness beyond them. The members of her expedition all settle around you. Avarice steps far back, making sure she's behind all these individuals. Very well. You can begin opening the door. Who'd like to go first?
I will do it.
Oh, very good. And you approach the door. Vellynne moves to your side, saying, For the ritual to work, there needs to be a second person involved. I will be assisting. Roman, is that all right, Avarice? Yes, Vellynne, very good, very good. Do as you wish. Vellynne hands you that wand from before, remarking, I'm pretty sure, though I'm not 100%, that this is made of Neverwood. After all, there was an inscription on it. It's written in Loris, but I translated it last night. Look. She hands you the wand, and it does indeed seem to have a little inscription that you couldn't quite see before. It's quite faint. It's written in Loris, a language you do not understand, but Vellynne translates it as the property of High Illusionist Ajamar. Remember where we found it? This must have been the wand of the High Illusionist, Ajamar. So it must be made of this Neverwood, yes, if he was one of the ruling wizards.
Yes.
Very well. Also, I took the liberty of collecting some dust. I have a feeling it's from a corpse. And I have some Neverroot. It's going to give you a mild stomachache, but hopefully nothing worse than that. That should count as a poison. Are you going to be okay with drinking it?
Of course.
Very well, then. She hands you the wand.
I take it.
Okay, place it upon your heart.
I do that.
Roshik, where do you position yourself? You notice that Roman and Vellynne have gone to stand directly in front. But where do you stand?
I stand with the others for now. I stand as audience with them, curiously looking on to this spectacle. I wonder if it will actually work.
Okay, Roman, try summoning just a light cantrip to your hand. I think that will count as a flame.
And I snap my fingers and call forth light.
Now, I'm afraid you must speak a secret no one else knows. Aloud. In the silence, everyone is looking at you, Roman, especially Avarice.
I know that my son is not at rest. he is being tortured for all eternity. I know that. No one else knows that until now.
There's a moment of silence over the crowd. Avarice raises an eyebrow, clearly interested. Roshik, what do you think of that? He's for so long told you how confident he was that his son was at rest. What is this secret?
It's interesting. I wonder if that's what driving him still, or trying. He doesn't seem as tormented as before. Perhaps he has come to terms with it. I suppose we never really revealed everything to each other.
Vellynne nods and leans in close to your ear. There is a moment of hesitation before she remarks, "What I seek from the spellbook is the spell of true resurrection."
I see.
She then leans away from you. Roman, what do you think of that? True resurrection. You are familiar with the concept. Something only the gods decide. Yes, there are of course some priests of Lathander who have been blessed with this magic. The greatest of the order, even though there is no real ranking. But of course it is only to be used when the gods say it should be used. After all, true resurrection, they say that can resurrect anyone. You do not need a body. You do not even need them to have been alive for thousands of years. Anyone with just a name could be brought back, regardless of whether they wanted to or not. Naturally, this is something forbidden, at least in Lathander's law, although you think there are wizards who have achieved this as well, but it is indeed an ancient, very rare magic.
It is tempting. It is tempting. I will have to decide upon that later. If I were to get such an opportunity.
Yes. But I wonder, knowing the opportunity is there, would you take it? Lathander might not approve.
I'm not sure. My son... I would like to protect him. I would like to save him. But I don't know.
This is not a trick. This magic works. It is simply almost unheard of.
Yes, it would. But I don't know. Would I dare take such a risk, and would it truly solve anything? He brought himself there, where he is now.
What are you doing up there? Did you forget half of the ritual?
We're getting there. Calm down. Quench the flame in ice. Put out your light now with some snow. Let's get some. She quickly moves over and grabs a bit of frost off the ground and puts it on your hand.
And I cover the light up with that.
Then mask your appearance. Have you got a cloth or anything on you?
Of course. Take up a cloth and I cover my face with it.
She then begins drawing a circle around you using that ash she says she gathered earlier during the night. And finally, she instructs you to stand inside the circle and hands you a small vial. This is the last step of the ritual.
Yes. This is the poison then. And I take it and I down it.
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
11.
Oh, you feel a little queasy, but it's not that bad. You think you can taste the herb she used. You are a little familiar with it, actually. You do have some medicine skill. So, other than maybe having an upset stomach for a bit, you don't think this poison is that bad.
That's good.
And before you, the 8 sigils begin to shimmer, and the darkness disappears. Now there is an eerie purple corridor awaiting you.
Well then, path is open, I say, and I begin moving forward.
Roshik, roll me a perception check.
8.
The doorway is open. What do? You see all the individuals around you getting their weapons ready, looking a little excited. Avarice looks pleased, but she does then suddenly start looking around her for some reason. What do?
What is Roman and... what are they doing up there? Roman and Vellynne?
Roman seems to be striding forwards quite sternly. Vellynne is looking to him and following very quickly. They'll be inside very soon, you think, before anyone.
Then I will start muttering an incantation of dimension door to teleport in, if I can.
You do, and a portal appears before you, which you step through, and doing so, arrive just in front of Roman. Roman, suddenly Roshik is in front of you, and you almost bump into him.
And I just walking.
And as you all are doing that, you, Roman, being the one who stumbles for a moment, will notice that you see several figures on all the buildings nearby. There's 10 on the left and 10 on the right. What sort of beings are they? You don't really have much time to think because they begin pouncing upon the individuals outside, and battle begins. These things are ambushing you all. Well, not really you, because you're all at the entranceway. Avarice, you notice, suddenly steps back around a corner and vanishes from view, but these strange beings are beginning to attack the individuals outside, and the individuals outside are defending themselves. Vellynne kind of quickly dives forward, but what do, Roman?
I follow her. All right, let's go now. This is our chance.
Roshik, what do? You suddenly hear behind you the sounds of battle.
Well, I don't want to... Yeah, I sent a glance behind me as I keep moving inwards. What do they look like, these things?
They are strange humanoid-looking creatures clad in rags. You notice one of them jump onto a man just in front of you now who is trying to run to the entranceway himself with a clawed hand. It rips out his throat and begins gorging itself on his blood. The being looks at you with a singular, gigantic green eye and rows of sharp teeth. This is an unsettling image, Roshik, but for a moment you feel a strange kinship, and you itch your own singular eye as this green-eyed thing just looks at you. What do?
I don't really have time to think. These just feelings going through me, along with the fever and everything else. It's upsetting somehow. I feel like I've done something. And then I just turn away from the carnage, thinking, well, that was the right decision apparently.
And you enter the area. Just as you do, you hear on the wind the sound of someone yelling, "Seriously, you free? Gods damn you!" And then you are in a purple chamber. What you notice immediately, Roshik, are two things. Number one, you can't see Roman and Vellynne anymore. And then, as soon as you realise that, you begin plummeting upwards. Roman, you didn't hear much of what happened behind you, but you suddenly are plummeting upwards at a very fast speed. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to understand where I am, what's going on. Can I see Vellynne?
You're not sure, but you're moving upwards and upwards and upwards, constantly passing strange purple glowing orbs as you do so. But after 60 seconds, perhaps, it starts slowing, but you definitely are floating upwards, completely not of your own accord.
I guess it's taking me somewhere. I try to relax my body and just try to follow this stream, then it will take us to where we need to go, I'm certain of that.
Roshik, eventually you think you can see up ahead Vellynne and Roman floating above you, as you yourself are slowing a little but still moving at quite some speed upwards through this strange shaft. How are you feeling?
I'm trying to hold on to some sort of balance making sure that my head is upwards. Does it do that automatically, or what happens? Do I have to try and compensate?
You don't know. And before you can think on it much longer, suddenly you are thrust down onto the ground with a hard thud.
I try to catch my balance.
You are all in a chamber. The walls are lit with strange purple lights. Before you is a large set of double doors, made of some sort of ebony-like material. You are alone, it seems, as in, it is just you three. Vellynne kind of takes a moment to get herself up and looks alarmed behind you, but after a few seconds pass, no one else seems to be coming the other way.
What were those things attacking them?
What? I don't know. Anyway, Vellynne raises her rod and points it at you, Roshik. Right, you, back up against the wall now!
I hold my hands up and, fine, I'm backing up.
All right, Roman, give me 7 good reasons why in the 9 hells I should trust your friend now. He openly betrayed me. I'm pretty sure he probably would have betrayed you too.
But he is here now, isn't he? He would never betray me. He might have made a mistake. Trust me, he will stand with us.
Are you going to stand with us, Roshik? Or are you simply going to stab me in the back the moment it suits you? I don't doubt that you'll help him, but I'm really starting to wonder if... Damn it all, I don't have a choice! But, how can I continue with you two?
It is difficult, I understand.
My wish would still be to hand over that spellbook to her. Well, not technically, no. I say a bit feverishly. I would like to have it myself, but I am not going to try and kill you over it. You can have my word on that.
Why on earth would you want it?
Well, I am seeking more knowledge, and that seemed like the far most interesting thing here. If both of you from the Arcane Brotherhood want it, surely it was something for me to learn from it as well.
We're both accomplished wizards. Do you even know anything about the basics of wizardry?
I suppose not at that. I might need someone to help me with it. Though, my mission here is still, first and foremost, to play a big trick on Oral. That is what my lady wants. And with the Mythalar, if that's all we get, then that will still be a grand prize.
Vellynne looks between the both of you and starts swearing a little. I don't have a choice, do I? I can't take you two on anyway. Oh, why? Why you, Roman? Really? Really? All the times you've given me such a hard time about my practices, and yet the second it came to betraying me for someone who literally apparently works for an archdevil, and you had no qualms.
I did not know about the archdevil. I trust my friend. I am loyal to him. And in this case, that does make me into a hypocrite, yes. And I'm sorry for that. I did not mean to deceive you, but I needed to protect Roshik.
You two. I wouldn't count on them being defeated yet. They're not following, but Avarice... she got this far. All right, we just need to continue. I'm not giving her the spellbook, Roshik. Not happening.
And... fine. I suppose we'll see how this plays out. Would you be honest with me and tell me what exactly is that you want from it?
I seek the spell of true resurrection that I think might be in it.
And whom do you wish to resurrect?
What business is that of yours?
We're sharing things.
I don't trust you one lick. I'm not telling you that. Be happy that I've told you that first thing. Already I was unsure if Roman would still support me. After all, I know how your god feels about resurrecting. Only when he says it's okay.
That is his word.
Well then, I suppose we shall have to try and find what else we can make use of. But where are we, and how is this place going to lead us anywhere?
We're in the High Court now. I've not been paying attention. Let us proceed. This would be the place where the wizards of the city held their councils. This would be the place where, ideally, the Archlich himself would have dwelt. If the Mifflar is anywhere, it will be here somewhere.
And she said it would be problems if we removed it. What does it actually do at this point? The city's not floating.
Well, I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? It could be doing any number of things. She's probably overreacting. I don't really care. As long as I have the spellbook, I don't care about the city itself.
So which way, then?
Well, I would say the way that doesn't lead down to whatever those things were that apparently were following us the entire time. That was close. It's a good thing we were ready to rush in.
They seem to be a part of the city. Strange. I wonder if they're just mindless, or if someone is controlling them.
You think to yourself, Roshik, that the way they ambushed would imply they were not mindless. That was quite a skillful ambush that required patience.
Yeah, they were waiting for the perfect moment. I mumble to myself.
Well, lead the way then, Roshik. Roman, you feel that she doesn't truly trust Roshik still, but for the moment at least she doesn't seem to have a choice. She does move to your side a little.
I put my hands down and I move off from the wall, seeing that she's, lowering her wand for a bit. And then I do take the lead.
And you open the double doorways before you, going further into the High Court of the lost city of Yffrin.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. The music was created by Flowers for Body Snatchers, Ugasanye, Word Clock, and Metatron Omega, and was used with permission from their label, Cryo Chamber. Check them out at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more music for your table. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, David Hagberg, and Camilla for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. May Lathander protect you, and fill the world with light.